Welcome back to another episode of Boys on the Bench podcast. Today we're going to be talking about clinching our asses while our teams are out there clinching a playoff spot. I'm your host, Medine, and I'm here with my co-host, Zach.
Howdy.
Let's get straight into it. First up, Week 17. Still last week, we got Vikings versus Lions. First game. The Vikings took this one it was very close, 37-35. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a pretty close game with two teams that had really nothing to fight for. Kirk Cousins hitting the gritty late fourth quarter. I don't know. Lions with that. I'm guessing Matthew Stafford was in, and I know they were playing a bad off-season Vikings squad, but hopefully we can see a lot more of this Lions team next year.
Yeah, the Lions are starting to rebuild. This year they drafted DeAndre Swift. Hopefully they get their defense stepped up. Their
Yeah,
offense isn't too bad.
Jeff Okuda needs to start making some big plays. He was I believe the third pick in the draft.
Yeah, something like that. He's been feeling pretty bad. But next up, we got the Buccaneers just humiliating the Falcons, 44-27.
That that game, that was very close at one point. I believe Buccaneers blew like a 20 or a 17-0 lead, and the Falcons were leading like 20 to something, and then Buccaneers scored 20 something unanswered.
Yeah, they scored 21 in the fourth. Tom Brady almost threw for 400 yards. It was 399. Ronald Jones got a touchdown, and
Yeah,
Antonio Brown got two.
yeah. Antonio Brown started off, I think, mid-season, around week 9 was his first start against New Orleans. Um, he's gotten 45 catches so far. With
And
I,
then,
he got
go ahead.
11. He got 11 on Sunday against Atlanta.
Mike Evans also got injured. I forgot what quarter.
I think it was late first, late first, early second, but it was like right after he set a record.
Yeah, that is a major blow. But we'll talk about them in the playoffs later. Next
Next,
up, Patriots and Jets. You can talk about this one.
uh, Jets trying to finish the year off 3 in a row. Patriots already eliminated from the playoffs. Really, both teams have to fight for. Jets just trying to maybe improve draft. Um, Patriots need to move on from Cam Newton. It already shows this
Yeah,
year he's not doing good. I think he has 8 passing touchdowns in general, 2 at home. Not good performance at all. Bill Belichick can obviously do better, and which of course they had the most opt-outs at the beginning of the year, which plays a massive factor. And I believe the former Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore, was also one of those opt-outs.
yeah, I agree. They have to get rid of Cam or like trade him away. I don't
Yeah.
think he's a good fit for the Patriots.
And then next game, we have the Dolphins trying to win and in that wild card spot, but the Bills trying to clinch the second seed, and it was a one team affair this game. Bills win
Yeah.
56-26. What was it? Who got 3 touchdowns that game?
Let me check. I don't think anybody got three touchdowns, but
No, no, someone had 3 touchdowns like all in a row. Uh, they got, think 2 receiving and punt return. It was
oh, Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah, he had a 7 yard reception, 14 yard reception, and 80 yard punt return. And then John
Mm-hmm.
Brown had a touchdown. Josh Norman got a touchdown off of
Johnny
defense.
Williams.
Yeah, he got 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth.
But let's talk about the Dolphins side. Tua had three picks, one touchdown. That was a really bad game for him.
Yeah, and he threw 53 times, I believe.
But the corner, Xavier Howard, got a pick again.
Yeah,
It's
he
his
has a
10th.
yeah he has a good chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, it's up there. But yeah, the Bills just humiliated the Dolphins. I could see the Dolphins going to the playoffs next year, but for this
Yeah,
year, They've been eliminated.
Yeah, it it just sucks on where this Week 17 game left the Buffalo Bills, who now with this win, even though it was against the Dolphins, it still makes them look scary in this playoff this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Moving on, we got the Browns and Steelers. Steelers are already in the playoffs, so they play their third strings. And Browns, who need a winning in, go off with Nick Chubb 1 touchdown, Jarvis touchdown, and Austin Hooper touchdown, and Baker popping off.
yeah, Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper really made up for, or I don't even think Austin Hooper was gone, but Jarvis sure did make up for having to be out with COVID last week against the Jets.
Yeah.
Um, First half for both teams that game were a little iffy. Um, Second half they started picking up the tempo. Browns pulling out some trick plays. And we'll actually be seeing these two teams again this Sunday in the wild card round, as we'll get into later.
Yep. Also at the end, it got really close as Chase Claypool and Juju got a touchdown.
Yeah, and they couldn't get the 2 point conversion over to Claypool, and some may say a controversial onside kick where where the refs could not see who had clear possession of the ball.
Yeah, that was a real weird one.
Yeah, the same kind of happened in this Giants Cowboys game right here. Cowboys Giants kind of upset the Cowboys 23-19, with Dallas winning 4 of their last 6, now only winning 4 of their last 7. Cowboys get eliminated from playoff contention. Giants could possibly make the playoffs if the Washington would have lost, but Washington got the win against Philly. Um, Cowboys tried making a comeback late second half. Dalton threw a very questionable interception, and just luckily 2 plays later, the Giants fumbled. But again, another sort of controversial call to where nobody could see who had clear possession of the ball, which would
Yeah.
give the Giants the victory because no clear possession, rule stands as what it was called.
Yeah, and one key player that the Cowboys have was CeeDee Lamb, who didn't do that much this game. And after the game, he went on Twitter and he liked a tweet saying that he's not Cowboys material. I don't think that means he wants like a trade. I think that's just him motivating himself to show that to show the haters that he is Cowboys material.
Yeah,
I
and
see him going far.
which the second thing about that game for CD was that on the second down where it was second and long, and Andy Dalton throws a little slant over to CD, and CD's wide open, but it just slips through his hands. That's a bad call on CD, not Andy Dalton's fault. And then that's what sets up the very next play, the interception in the end zone. Then Giants go on to win. Um,
Yeah.
Next game, we have another win and in scenario with the Ravens against Bengals. Ravens win and they're in. The Bengals, no chance of playoffs. They only have 4 wins. Ravens pulled this out 38-3, utter blowout. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, Lamar got another year of 1,000 rushing yards, so congrats on him. He had 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, very good. Bengals, I mean, they have nothing to play for. They have like a top 5 pick. Uh, they have their starting QB out. For the Ravens, they're rushing 2 touchdowns from J.K. Dobbins, very good. Marquise Brown went off with 2 touchdowns as well. And yeah,
Uh,
very one-sided.
yeah, there's really nothing much to say about except Ravens at one point being 3 games behind an even record, I believe, at one point, and now they are heading to the playoffs.
11-5.
Yep. The Jags. The Jags this year started 1-0, now finished 1-15 after this 28-14 loss over the Colts. So, and their week 1 matchup was against the Colts. So Jags went from 1-0 beating the Colts to now ending 1-15, losing 15 straight and losing their final one to the Colts. Colts could have clinched the AFC South with this win. They needed the Titans to lose, but What are your thoughts on this game?
Oh, well, the Colts played very good. Philip Rivers doing decent, one touchdown, one pick. Jonathan Taylor, I think he's a top five for rusher, and he's only a rookie. That is very good.
Yeah,
T.Y. Hilton starting to click again. He wasn't doing very good the first half of the season, but the second half, something improved. And yeah, the Jags, just being the Jags, they had Mike Glennon. He didn't do terribly, but yeah.
for some reason, this year, the Jags really only did well against the Colts. And the Colts are like a hit or miss team. They either play really good one game or they just play really bad. Which this game, you could say they played good, but you're going up against the Jags, who the Bears last week put up 40 against them, and the Colts have arguably top five, maybe top three defense and secondary. I I think Colts need to step it up a little bit, but again, probably wasn't like a super hard game day, so
Yeah, these two teams are very weird. Like the Browns against the Jags, it was a 2 point game at the end, and we beat the Colts easily.
yeah.
So it's very weird for those two teams. But next
Um,
up, we got the Titans and Texans. Titans winning 41 to 38 off of a field goal. Anything for this?
um, yeah. With this win again, no, it wasn't even winning in at this point. Both Colts needed to win to get past Miami. Titans just needed to win, I believe. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure both were winning in. My bad. Um, Titans Texans again. This is a questionable game. Texans not really doing so well. They finished 4-12. Um, Titans. Ryan Tannehill gets that read option on the bottom side of the TV screen, left side of the field, with maybe minute two left, and then sets up Texans field goal, long field goal, almost blocked, and then they don't even. Then the Titans rush down the field, long throw to AJ Brown, and they don't even uh, give it to Steven Gostowski to kick the game-winning field goal. They give it to a person who's never kicked for them, and then he made his first career kick to send him to the playoffs, and it hit off the left post and bounced in.
Yeah, very weird of them to do something like that.
I mean, but this game also, Derrick Henry just seems to sort of be carrying the team. He exceeded 2,000 rushing yards this season with this game, and they still nearly lost. So I think the same thing is going to happen this year as last year. Derrick Henry is going to carry them throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, they're playing the Ravens again, and you know what happened last time.
Yeah, Derrick
So,
Henry made Earl Thomas go into retirement.
so we'll see what's going to happen this year. We'll talk about that soon. Next up, Rams upset the Cardinals. Well, did you call an upset?
I mean, it depends. If you would have said that the Rams would have gotten a two possession score, a win over the Cardinals before Murray got injured, that would have been surprising. But Murray left early first quarter, I believe, early late first. So they
Hmm.
weren't expecting to have a backup.
Yeah, and also the Rams played with John Wolford, who didn't do that good. It
Yeah.
was really the defense that carried.
And then who backed up for Kyler?
For Kyler, it was Chris Steveler. I'm not sure if
Uh
I'm pronouncing that right, but he had one touchdown, one pick.
yeah,
Not too
and
bad.
that pick was, I believe, an 84-yard pick six.
Yeah, and at the end of the game, Larry Fitzgerald. No, the coach hinted at Larry Fitzgerald retiring, which just
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, again, this year and next year are gonna be really sad years for especially us growing up watching these players. Um, but good news for Rams fans, they won, they're in. Um, Cardinals needed to win to make the playoffs. If they would have lost, they were out. Bears would have automatically been in. Rams winning in. They play. They play Seattle this Sunday, or no, this Saturday. So they'll have their third matchup against split series, just like with the Browns Steelers split series. So now it'll basically be best 2 out of 3 for a divisional matchup.
Yep.
Um,
Uh, for the Saints game.
yeah. Next we have Saints Panthers. Saints trying to get the number 1 seed after having all of their running backs having to be quarantined for COVID reasons. But they still edge out, not even edge out. Uh, it's a one-sided affair. Saints 33, Panthers 7. Panthers having to put in Tommy Stevens, a former Saints practice squad player. Teddy Bridgewater, of course. Teddy Bridgewater throws 2 interceptions. I don't know who their third or their second string was.
Uh, Philip Walker.
Yeah. He throws 3 interceptions. So in total, 5 interceptions for New Orleans defense. I know it was against the Panthers, but kind of looking scary for the playoffs. We had some injuries. Breeze kind of going back to his old self, having to rely on the pass game, accurate passes, short passes, 4 touchdowns. One to Emmanuel Sanders, getting him half a mil. One to Jared Cook, one to Austin Carr. Just an overall good day for Saints fans. Sadly, could not pull off the 1 seed. Everything happened in our favor, just could not get the 1 seed.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but not unfortunate for the Packers as they beat the Bears and they get the 1 seed, first seed. Everybody thought the Bears would win, but the Packers played their starters, they did everything, and the Bears just weren't looking too good.
I I think that loss was on Chicago. On one drive early in the fourth, they had, I believe, a 8, 9 minute drive possibly. They went for it on fourth down 2 times, converted, went for it on the third, and when they're in perfect field goal range, when they could have put it to, I believe, a 2 point game, they decided to go for it on 4th and 1, threw a little out route, failed. You At this late in the stage, especially with playoffs, you have to take your points. Bears were 1-5 in the red zone against Green Bay, and Green Bay was 4 for 4, scoring 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Money Mitch Trubisky, he had 1 interception, 0 touchdowns. Very
Yeah,
unfortunate, but hopefully they can bounce back. Was it
hopefully
next
not.
year?
Yeah, hopefully next year, not next week.
Yeah.
Uh, Next we have Chargers Chiefs. Chiefs resting all starters because they already clinched the 1 seed. Um, Chargers win 38-21. Chiefs fall to 14-2, not 15-1. So that's kind of a upside. Um, I didn't really pay attention to this game.
I didn't either until like I saw the stats. Justin Herbert had 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing. I saw who was it? Austin Eckler and I forgot who else got injured, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, there was a serious injury that happened during that game.
And then for the Chiefs, they didn't have Patrick Mahomes. They had Chad Henne. I don't know who that is. And yeah, I think they just played their like second strings, third strings.
Yeah, only because you don't need to play, so that loss doesn't matter. Um,
Yeah.
Chargers were already eliminated from playoffs, so nothing important there. But next we have the Seahawks 49ers. Seahawks needing both Green Bay and New Orleans to lose to claim the 1 seed, but both teams won. Seahawks nearly lost as it was, I believe, 16-6 at one point, but they get the win 26-23, a very high scoring fourth quarter by both teams.
Yeah, and Russell Wilson played very poor the first half and then pretty good the second half. Tyler Lockett had 2 touchdowns, not too bad. But 49ers should have came out with a win. They just blew it at the end.
Yeah. Um, so Seahawks, they already clinched the division at this point. Packers, Saints, Seahawks were all just fighting for rankings between 3 to 1 seeds. But next we have 2 teams that had no chance making the playoffs with this game, but it was yet very interesting to watch. Raiders up top 32, Broncos 31.
Came off a game-winning field goal, I believe.
It the game-winning field goal was blocked. It was
Um,
it was a 63-yard attempt by the Broncos and it got blocked.
yeah, the Broncos had some weird field goals. They tried a 70-yard attempt that was also blocked.
When?
Uh, to end the second half.
Dang.
Or no, to end the first half, sorry. Second quarter, I meant. But yeah, it was very weird. Drew Lock not playing too bad. Two touchdowns, 0 picks. Melvin Gordon also doing pretty good. Raiders, Derek Carr, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And Joshua Jacobs just being good still. What do you think
Yeah.
about this game?
Um Raiders I feel like the Raiders clicked too late.
hmm
They cl- I believe that they clicked with Marcus Mariota. Against the Chargers, they uh who was it? Derek Carr got injured early first. Marcus Mariota went out there and just put on a show. Again, they lost, but there's still room for improvement.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement. I thought they were going to make the playoffs this year after beating the Chiefs,
Yeah,
but sadly they went 8-8, missed it. But
yeah,
next year, I see them going to the playoffs.
yeah. The Raiders were the only true team to beat the Chiefs this year.
hmm And then, lastly, last game of the season, game 256, the football team versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Very, very controversial game.
hmm
Um, Washington win and they're in. Win they win the division. If they lose, Giants, since they beat the Cowboys, they would go on to the playoffs. Whoever won this game, if whoever went to the playoffs representing the NFC East would play the Buccaneers. Um, but Doug Peterson, late fourth quarter, decides to bench starting quarterback Jalen Hurts, and Giants fans, Eagles fans, everyone gets mad. Um,
Yeah, very sad for Giants fans. All the players on Twitter were just Eagles slander. It was very bad. Even Jalen Hurts himself on the bench said it's not right, which I'm gonna be 100%. It really isn't.
yeah, the Eagles probably could have won if they would have kept in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, at least we get to see Alex Smith go to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's truly a great story for him. He nearly had his leg amputated just 2 years ago after a gruesome injury. He returns this year, gets his first actual start, and then makes the playoffs. So, in in general, it's a good year for Alex Smith and the football team.
hmm They went 7-9, made the playoffs. Good and bad.
Yep.
But talking about the wild cards now.
Yes. The super, what is it? The super wild card? Is that what they're calling it?
I don't know what they're calling it.
I heard something was like the super wild card round. Which since they added a seventh team into this mix, which the seventh seeds would be, was it No, not. It'd be Colts. Colts and the Bears are the seventh seeds for each conference. Um, so for this wild card, instead of having 2 games for each wild card, they now have three on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. Uh, 2 NFC games on Saturday, 2 AFC games on Sunday, 1 AFC Saturday, 1 NFC Sunday. Um, so beginning the Super Wildcard weekend, we have Bills Bills hosting the Colts at noon on Saturday.
Mm. You can go first.
Um, if this is a good defensive game by the Colts, good for them. If this is the Bills offense we've seen through the past couple weeks, amazing. Josh Allen finding a rhythm, kind of kind of getting that MVP play, but he got it too late. He can't. There's no way he can get it right now. But um, again, Colts, if their defense plays like they did against Jags, they won't have a chance. But I say first wild card game of this year goes to the Bills, 31-17.
Alright, that's reasonable. Uh, if the Bills' offense starts to click like it's been doing for the past couple of weeks, it's gonna be them. If the Colts can step up their defense and offense, I can see a very slim, like 1% chance that they win. But I'm gonna take the Bills probably 28 to 10.
Okay. And if the Bills win this, it'll be, what is it, the first time in 20 years, 20 plus years they've won a playoff game?
Something like that, yeah.
I believe the last time they won a playoff game, Josh Allen wasn't even born.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, so heading to the 3 o'clock game of this wild card weekend, we have the third meeting against these teams now in Seattle. They played 2 weeks ago, week 16. Now it's Rams versus Seahawks. What are your thoughts on this game?
If the Rams defense can start clicking and getting back to like their potential, they're gonna win. But the Seahawks offense, they just need to like help their O line. Russell Wilson is probably gonna be popping off this game. It's not gonna be one-sided. It's gonna be very close. But I'm gonna take the Seahawks 21-18.
Okay. Usually when these teams go at it, it's a really close game. Um, I believe Jared Goff will still be out for this game with his thumb injury. Um,
Yeah.
Again, not the best time to suffer from that injury, but I give it Seahawks by I say more than one score, only because again, Rams running off of a backup, so the defense is going to have to step up, and I believe playoff Russ is a different Russ than what we've been seeing through the second half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next we have Buccaneers going to Washington to play Washington at 7:15 on the Saturday night. Um, Washington's defense, not so bad, pretty good. Um, Buccaneers offense, been amazing these past couple games. But
Yeah.
the Buccaneers struggle against good defenses. I know that's like obvious, but Tom Brady this year has been struggling so bad with really good defenses.
Yeah, the Buccaneers have been struggling against good defenses, kind of like the Bears. They've also been bad during prime time, which it is prime time this time. So, who are you taking for this game?
I I want to take Washington only because just the upset and with Chase Young coming off the edge, sacking Brady, but just off the game Buccaneers have, and I give it Buccaneers probably 2 scores. I don't know what the actual score would be, but just anywhere around 2 score game.
Alright, I think the Washington football team is going to upset the Buccaneers only because the Buccaneers offense, they don't have Mike Evans anymore. He came off of injury. And I just think the football team's, what is it? Defense is going to be really good.
Okay, that's reasonable. Um, Entering Sunday of this wild card weekend, we have the rematch of last year's divisional round. I believe it was it. Yes, it was the divisional round. It is Ravens versus Titans. But this year, the Titans are hosting the Ravens.
Yup. What are your thoughts about this one?
Like I said earlier, Derrick Henry has to carry them throughout this playoffs. Just like last year's playoffs, that's when Derrick Henry really started being like popping off and being a huge name. Hopefully he can get another stiff arm on a defender, make them their lead blocker, like he did Earl Thomas last year. But The Ravens rush defense, it's really no, not rush defense, rush like offense, their schemes really going off with J.K. Dobbins and Lamar rushing. Then their pass to Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, Des Bryant now in the mix, Boykin. It's a really good offense for both of these teams.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Titans got Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Ravens have like Marquise Brown, Des Bryant, like Lamar. But I'm gonna take the Ravens on this one.
Okay.
Who are you taking?
Um, I think it's gonna be the same thing as what we saw. Oh, sorry. What we saw earlier in the year, which is Titans beat Ravens, not in overtime, just a closer game, and Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and maybe Jonnu Smith. Maybe we'll see a little bit of him, and Ryan Tannehill will do really good.
Okay, I can agree with you. Next game, you can talk about this one. This one's the Saints.
Okay, so again, that was the reason why I didn't want the Bears to start clicking this week. That's because they go down to the New Orleans. I was gonna say the Baton Rouge, but nah. Um, the Big Easy. Yeah, that's what it's called, the Big Easy. So that could be so easy this week as they go up against the Saints. Saints are 13 and 3. No, 12 and 4, 12 and 4. The Packers are 13 and 3. Um, Saints coming off of a huge win. Bears coming off of a kind of struggling loss, but offense was good. Defense just has to get there. Um, Bear Bears can do amazing things on defense this week. Last against the Packers, they were really boxing out Aaron Rodgers, making him to throw away, making him to scramble. Drew Brees can't scramble, so if they can box him in and there's not a running back around Brees, they'll sack him 9 out of 10 times. So, um, and this will be the first ever game this season where all Saints players will be healthy and we will have a full team to where we can play at our full potential. We'll have Michael Thomas, healthy Drew Brees, healthy Alvin Kamara, healthy defense. We'll have it all. We'll have Trey Hendrickson, who's tied for second in the league with 13 and a half sacks. Um, so especially since it's in the Big Easy in Mercedes-Benz Superdome, I gotta give it to New Orleans by maybe 10 points.
Yeah, I can see the Bears defense click in the playoffs, but their offense is just looking terrible, as you saw against the Packers. So I'm gonna have to take the Saints as well, just because they're gonna have other players back, like you said. And yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints. They're gonna win. I'd say 38-14.
38. Wait, what was it?
38-14.
Dang, that's a big dub.
Yeah, and also this game is gonna be televised on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say that.
nah, but I can't wait to hear SpongeBob. No,
And then,
if I don't hear freaking if I don't hear SpongeBob commentate the Saints game, I'm gonna be mad.
lastly, we have the Browns heading to the Steelers Stadium. Now the Browns, today, their head coach got COVID, their tight end coach got COVID, their one of their defensive coaches got COVID, and what is it? 3 players, 4 players right now have COVID,
Yeah,
something like that, and 2 of them are out drag racing. So it's a very big mess for the Browns right now. But for the Steelers, they benched their starters, so they are all healthy, ready to go. And I'm not going to be biased or anything. I have to take the Steelers to win this 24-7.
24/7. Okay. Yeah. Again, what you said. It's gonna be hard on the Browns, especially first time in the playoffs in 18 years. Um, Maybe they were drag racing for celebratory. I don't know. Um, but with Kevin Stefanski possibly Coach of the Year for like putting y'all back in playoffs and being a actual good team, contending playoff team. It's a huge like hit to lose him, especially with all your other coaches and some players. But Steelers will have their starters this week, and we saw what their starters can do earlier in the season. So you gotta give the Steelers by maybe 2 or 3 scores.
Yep. And then heading up into playoffs. You want to do AFC first?
No, we'll just talk about playoffs next week. We'll just keep doing the playoffs. We already predicted ours.
Alright, that's fine.
We can talk about MVP race.
Sure, you can go first.
Okay. I'm just gonna compare the stats. Patrick Mahomes, second in the league with passing because again he sat out this week with 4,740 yards. Deshaun Watson leads the league with 4,800, so not bad. 38 touchdowns. He's fourth in the league with that. 6 interceptions, tied fifth, and a QBR of 82.9. He's second. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, so for Mahomes, that's in 16 games. That's in 15 games. Rodgers, he has 4,299 passing yards. That's seventh. 48 touchdowns, too shy of 50, which would put him the fourth player in NFL history to get 50 in a season behind Brady, Manning, and Mahomes. But he led the league with that, with 48. He had 5 interceptions off of 48 touchdown passes. That's tied first, and a QBR of 84.4. The Packers, Aaron Rodgers threw more touchdown passes than they had to punt. They had 48 touchdown passes and only had to punt 46 times.
Yeah, that's very good for Aaron Rodgers. Who are you gonna take for MVP?
I would give it to Rodgers only because he's coming off an amazing season, and the season Mahomes had when he won MVP was 50 passing touchdowns, I believe 5,000 yards. So just based off of what they've done with MVP lately, Rodgers. But again, like I've said in previous episodes, if Josh Allen would have played at his caliber right now, his name would be up with these two. Same with Russell Wilson. If they would have played how they started, or if Josh Allen would have played like he started and ended, because in the middle he was just had a little dry spot, both of their
Yeah.
names would be in this race. It'd be a 4-person race.
Yeah, it'd be very close. I can still see Josh Allen winning it. I saw a couple stats where he was better than Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, but I just don't see him winning it. I see Aaron Rodgers taking it.
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers MVP then?
Yep.
Okay. I'm pulling up the defensive player of the year stats. So, just without looking at any stats, who do you think will win Rookie of the Year, offense and defensive?
For Rookie of the Year, offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna take Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
And defensive, I'm gonna take. Oh man. That's a tough one. Who's the guy for the Panthers? Jeremy Chin?
Yeah, Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, he's up there to win it. I don't know a lot of defensive rookies.
That's fine. Or there could be Patrick Queen. He had a good
Yeah,
he had a good first half of the season. Haven't really heard much about him since.
For offensive rookie of the year, Justin Jefferson, Justin Herbert. They're gonna have to battle it out. It's those top two.
Sorry.
That's fine.
No, I God, I gotta drink of water.
That's all right. But Justin Jefferson, Justin Herbert, they're both breaking records. As Justin Herbert has thrown the most TDs as a rookie, and Justin Jefferson has the most yards.
Oh my God. I am so sorry. I literally had a drink of water and now I'm coughing. Okay,
That's all right.
so these three. Um, just real quick. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Xavier Howard. Aaron Donald this season has 27 solo tackles, 13 and a half sacks, tied for second with Trey Hendrickson, and 4 forced fumbles, which is tied third. He has 0 interceptions. TJ Watt, he has 43 solo tackles, which is tied for 148, which you really don't get a solo tackle as a D lineman or coming off the edge. He has 15 sacks, which leads the league. He has 2 forced fumbles, which is tied for 32nd, and then 1 interception, which is tied for 94. With Xavier Howard, so those are 2 edge rushers, or Aaron Donald's another edge rusher. Those are just 2 people who can get to the quarterback pretty easily. Xavier Howard has 40 solo tackles, which Xavier Howard is a cornerback, not a middle linebacker or anything. He has 40 solo tackles, which is higher than 150, 1 forced fumble, which is tied for 80th. He has 10 interceptions, which is leading the league, and he has 20 passes deflected, which is first.
For defensive player of the year, it's either going to be Xavier Howard, TJ Watt.
Okay. Last year they had Stephon Gilmore. He had an amazing season. I believe it was up to him and Aaron Donald last year. But again, I think Aaron Donald could be one of the best players in the league. I would love to have him on my defensive line. I'm pretty sure any team would, even the Chiefs. But I think it'd go to TJ Watt, only because it's like I believe his 3rd, 4th year in the league, and he's already putting up these numbers, having a better season than his brother already.
Yeah. What about offensive player of the year?
I don't really know what would stick out for offensive player of the year, because when I think of offensive player of the year, I only think of MVP.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I could think of like Devontae Adams. I could think of maybe Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I can see running back or wide receiver getting it this year.
Yeah, I know that if we didn't start Taysom Hill and we would have or if Taysom Hill would have utilized Alvin Kamara like Drew Brees has, Alvin Kamara was on pace to have 2,000 all-purpose yards and break, I don't even know his name anymore, but it was to break an old Titans running back record.
Dang, that's rough.
Eddie George, I believe.
Never heard of him.
Oh, but now he won't be there, but he did get 6 touchdowns on Christmas, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, I could see Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams winning Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. It just depends, really. We don't really have a lot of time, but Coach of the Year, Brian Flores, maybe Matt LaFleur or Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, those 3 for sure. And then last award, Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. If the Steelers would have went undefeated or like went far in the playoffs, maybe Big Ben, but I think making the playoffs seals it for Alex Smith.
And
Um,
somebody put Rob Gronkowski up there for a comeback part of the year.
I mean, that's only because he retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is that all the time we have?
Yeah. Do you want to end it this week?
Sure. Thank you all for watching. The season is slowly coming to an end, so we're gonna be splitting up videos, not one every week, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like,
It'll be maybe like once a month, just when something big happens in the season, maybe like free agencies, draft.
yeah, just the big stuff like that. Like, what is it? We might do like our own draft thing
Yeah.
where we talk about the players. And yeah. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully you had a good week, and see you all next time.
See ya.